Carolina on the ride. Carolina on the ride.
Yes, thank you once again for joining me here with the Panther Prowl. This is Bill Mack, of course. I'm glad, yes, Panther fans, it is a reason to rejoice as we have defeated, the Panthers have came and defeated the New England Patriots 33-30 at Gillette Stadium in Boston, and it's such a great day to be a Panthers fan. As me, of course, I had all hope that the Panthers could pull out this win. They just needed to get together. You know, Cam had looked a little rusty. He was still, I feel like, still a little bit injured, but you know what? They came out and the offense got together today. Cam seemed to get in a relaxing groove. The offensive line only gave up 1 sack today, which that means if you give Cam enough time, he can pass. But it was awesome, though. But here are the offensive leaders in in today's game as far as our Panthers are concerned. Of course, Cam was responsible for 4 touchdowns. He had 3 passing, 1 rushing, become the first quarterback with 50-plus rushing touchdowns. Congratulations to him. Jonathan Stewart had 4 rushes for 68 yards, making him the all-time Panthers leading rusher. So congrats to Jay Stu on that. Funches and Benjamin both had really good games. Benjamin had 4 catches for 104 yards. Funches had 7 catches, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns as they got him involved early on in the game. I was really glad. Gano basically redeemed himself, as earlier he had been 9 for 9 field goals, but he missed a very vital extra point that put, instead of the Panthers being up by 8, they were only up by 7, which allowed New England to basically tie. But he did redeem himself. Like I said, as time expired, he kicked a 48-yard field goal to win it for the Panthers. Cam was 22 of 29 for 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He had a 130.8 rating. Brady was 32 of 45, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interception, a 104.6 rating. Like I said, Jay Stu was 4 rushes for 68 yards. We had, and Dion Lewis that rushed for the New England Patriots had 4 rushes for 18 yards, 1 TD. So, you know, which the Patriots are known for their rushing attack anyways. Like I said, Funches was our leading receiver, Fozzie Whitaker. Let's not forget Fozzie. He had a beautiful screen pass to him that he caught, 3 catches, 34 yards, 1 TD to Cam. Chris Hogan looked pretty good for the New England Patriots. He had 5 receptions for 60 yards, a touchdown. Gronk, of course, had 80 reception yards, and Danny Amendola had 42 yards. So we had a really good, our total team stats were, we had 140 rushing yards, 304 passing yards, for a total of 444 team yards, which we hadn't been averaging no more than 277. So our offense definitely peaked it up. The New England Patriots had only 80 rushing yards and 293 passing yards for 373. Like I said, our defense had 3 sacks on Brady. He was pressured throughout the day. Peppers, of course, 2 more sacks today. They had basically 2 sacks. New England did on Cam. Panthers only had 1 penalty compared to the 7 penalties by New England Patriots. So just a wonderful, wonderful performance today from our Panthers. I'm just so glad to see Cam basically get back into a groove. I know it's still a long ways to recovery. You know, a lot of times people were wondering, could Cam get back to that? We saw, of course, Cam did rush today. Mind you, don't let me forget that. He had 8 rushes for 44 yards. He looked to be settling back in. You know, Cam doesn't want to be completely have the run take away from him. But I am really satisfied with the Panthers' performance today, scoring over 440 yards total offense. And they gave up 373 yards to the New England Patriots. But it doesn't matter how many yards you give up. It's if you get that W at the end. So I'm glad to see that when it all came down to it, the defense just didn't fall over. There was some time or two in the second half that I was worried that they were going to kind of just be conservative or just things fall apart. There was a missed pass by Dixon that he could have called. I saw it. I was like, oh, no, here we go again. And, and then I just was worried that Cam wasn't going to be able to get the chance. But, he proved me wrong, which I wasn't against Cam. I just was hoping that Cam would be able to put on that kind of performance that he can do. And I know he's been hurt with his shoulder. Cam's got a good arm that can just get his short passes down. I've seen a couple passes that were short to McCaffrey that he overthrew him. He's still got to work on that short game as his intermediate game, and of course his passing game or, deep threat or there. He's got the arm for it. It's just getting him back to 100% with that. And I thought that Stewart running the ball today gave it enough for the Panthers to be able to pass the ball. McCaffrey was used in more ways than one. Like I said, his yardage may have not showed it, but his involvement and what it did to to help the Panthers spread the ball, especially to Whitaker, because whenever Whitaker caught that winning that pass for his touchdown, McCaffrey went across the field. They mixed the coverages up, and they ended up not being able to cover Whitaker. Whitaker just basically ran in. He basically wasn't touched. I thought the Panthers defense did good in keeping Brady, not as comfortable as he typically is, because we all know Brady, if you give him some time, he can march down there, and he did that right before the half. We noticed that, when the Panthers got that touchdown to go ahead 17-13, then our defense kind of set back a little bit with under 2 minutes to go. Brady got him down and in field goal position to go into the locker room, only down 17-16 rather than 17-16 rather than 17-13. So you can never give up on Brady, but I just feel like the Panthers are going to do well. I think next week's game is against the Lions of Detroit, and I'll definitely give you a comment on that game. I'm just so happy. Like I said, I'll get this video out just as soon as I can. I just was so very thrilled that the Panthers were able to come out with that win against New England, to go up 3-1 in their division, and it's good to stay on top of that and just keep getting better. Cam's timing keep getting better, and I'm sure that our Panthers will continue on the prowl. So I hope you folks have enjoyed this. Like I said, I'm glad that we won today. Good that Gano basically came through for us. Instead of missing a field goal, he comes back through, makes it up for us with that missed extra point, and gets the winning field goal. So this is Bill Mack with the Panther Prowl. And until next week's game, next week's preview, I'll talk to you next. So until next time, take it easy.